Population Ecology Theory and Institutional Theory by Doris Sanders. According to Hammond and Freeman in 1977, population ecology is when long-term change in the diversity of organizations formed within a population occurs through selection rather than adaptation. In layman's terms, the study of dynamic changes in organizations. Population ecology perspective focuses on organizational diversity and adaptation. Organizational diversity at the adaptation is limited compared to environmental demand. Therefore, new organizations are formed. When organizations are not able to adapt and change forms, they perish. Hammond and Freeman, 1977. Population ecology model is developed from theories in natural science and biology. Theories of biological evolution try to explain why certain forms survive and others perish. It has been suggested by theorists that forms that survive have adapted to the environment. Using the population ecology perspective to compare new and existing organizations allows us to understand the importance of the adaptation for survival. For example, in new organizations, they enter becoming very innovative because they're new and startup, and they have to figure out how to make it in the market. They adapt well because they haven't developed any heavily used cultures and thoughts, and they're aware. They've done a lot of research in order to begin their process and open their organization, so they're currently using models that fit the need of the environment. However, existing organizations, they're heavily vested. They spent money in processes, employees, even equipment. They have established procedures. They know what has worked in the past, and they continue to still use that approach. And they're unaware, because they have been successful in the past, not being aware of what the current environment needs, they're still relying on old successes to make their decisions. I'm going to now apply the population ecology theories to Basis Academy, which is where I worked. Evolution. Basis Academy evolved out of the need for quality education in underserved communities for children ages 3 to 5. So it was based on research and a current need in the environment. Constraints. There was limited certified Montessori teachers, so Basis Academy adapted. They developed a Montessori certification process that would meet the needs of the national standards as well as the staff that they were currently hiring. It was diversified. Basis Academy developed a relocation process. They moved qualified and certified staff when needed. Also, they had developed an impact and data team. They invested in this team to review local and the national environments, regulations, and trends, and research to determine immediate and long-term adaptations to be successful in this business. Now I'm going to discuss a little bit about institutional theory. For me, the two of them kind of like piggybacked on each other, and they go hand in hand. Institutional theory is the adoption and the spread of formal organizational structures, including standard practices and policies. David et al., 2019. Institutional theory encompasses how social norms and shared norms and expectation affects an organization's actions and outcomes. National and local government policies also affect those actions and outcomes of those organizations. The contemporary view of the institutional theory it is important for organizations to understand the culture and the sources existing, change, and arrangements. For example, one contemporary trending view, an example of institutional theory is remote work. We all realize that during the COVID-19 pandemic, many organizations sent staff home to work remotely. Governmental policies also dictated some of that change. Fast forward now, social norms and expectations began to dictate remote work as employees that had never worked remotely before, companies that had never experienced that, began to dictate that had become the social norm. It was a trend. It is still trending in many places. However, now the expectations are beginning to change. So leading organizations to have to adapt to meet those needs, which means some of the organizations have also determined that in order to meet their needs and what their employees are asking, they've developed a hybrid schedule. Now looking at Bezos Academy through the lens of institutional theory, it was formed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, remote early learning was a component that was initially discussed with the launching of the program, where most organizations had to pivot to accommodate the remote learning. That was an automatic process that Bezos Academy developed as they were launching. Current research. The foundation of the Academy is developed from current research. Therefore, the structure of paying living wage is already in place. Professional development for its employees is in place. And growth within the organization has already developed a step system for growth and advancement. And finally, it's fully nonprofit. So Bezos Academy is a fully nonprofit. Therefore, it is not dependent on parent tuition to survive. Whereas some of the other early education programs may have some similar issues. However, through governmental policies, we're now seeing that there are becoming some changes in the cost of care and how parents can access child care. And also, with an impact data team who focuses on continuous improvement, this has been seen as well in local Head Starts and school districts where they're working with continuous improvement on the ways that it can definitely be beneficial to staff, families, as well as the community. So future observations. Since Bezos Academy is a newly formed organization, it will be interesting to see in the future to what extent they're able to adapt and adjust to environmental changes to see if they're able to continue to be successful.